Some.
Do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So. Okay. Yes. Right in the middle. You raise your right hand, she'll see that. I, Kelly Roderick. I, Kelly Roderick. Do swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. So long as I shall continue to be. As long as I shall continue to be. A citizen thereof. A citizen thereof. I, Kelly Roderick. I, Kelly Roderick. Do swear. That I will faithfully discharge. That I will faithfully discharge. All the duties incumbent upon me. All the duties upon me. As a member of the town council. As a member of the town council. For the town of Oakland. For the town of Oakland. According to the Constitution. According to the Constitution. And laws of the state. Thank you. Now I'll go around and we're gonna be voting for a council chair. Mike, you have been reelected as council chair. Okay. You have 4 votes. And now we're gonna do co-chair now. Yeah. And Damon, you will be the chair. Okay.
Thank you, Kathy. A roll call now. At this time, all 5 members are present. Next item is consider approving the minutes held from December 18th. I make the motion to approve those minutes. Motions are made. Do we have a second? All in favor? Opposed?
According to abstain, since I was not a member of the council at that time.
So we have 1 abstention. Next item up, new business. We have an audit presentation. Kelly, you're gonna hook him up here.
Craig, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, right. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
That's our auditor, Craig. All right, take it away.
All right. Good evening. I just want to start off with this year's a little bit more challenging. There is a major finding. It's material weakness. Nothing to state in the current staff or anything that occurred during the audit. It was a really good audit. Otherwise, what had happened was there was a large amount of transactions that occurred that was reclassification. Those changes did not get reflected appropriately. And so it required a significant amount of time and to make corrections to the financial statements. So I just wanted to preface that ahead of what I'll present for the financial statements. And because there's some major changes from prior year as part of those corrections. So what I'll do is I will start with page 16 of the report. You can follow along, or I can just tell you the amounts. But page 16 just has the breakdown of funds for the town. So there was major shift in those funds this year. So what we did is we moved out your capital reserves and special revenue funds to better reflect activity of your other fund balances that are not your operating fund balance. So overall, the town ended up in pretty well financially across the board. On the general fund side, which is your regular operating, you ended with a fund balance carry forward of $3,112,992. This is without taking into account what you'll approve later tonight, which is a transfer of an amount that you add to your capital reserve. So that will decrease a little bit, but overall, pretty healthy fund balance. Your special revenue fund has carry forwards of $503,000. And again, these amounts are broken down further in the financial statements, in the notes to the statements. And then another large shift is to your capital reserve fund, which has a total of $2,040,000. These were all present last year in the financial statements. They were just presented in the general fund only and not separated out into different funds. So another statement I will go over is statement 4, which is page 18. And that just breaks down the activity in those funds to get to the totals for the year. And on that statement, when you do take a look at that, there's going to be some major reclassifications of those funds across from the general fund to the other funds. So that's it for that. And the sewer fund had an increase in overall in its fund balance of $455,000 for the year. So that fund ended with a carry forward total net position of 6.2 million, but that includes the assets less any liabilities. But the unrestricted carry forward for the sewer fund is 160,000 for the year. And as far as budget performance, budget versus actual, that's also presented in the report on page 44. You had on the revenue side, you had a positive variance of $166,502. So you collected $166,000 more than you anticipated. And then on the expenditure side, you spent $614,000 less than you anticipated. However, you intended to take $900,000 from your fund balance. So those positive variances go against the $900,000, and overall you had a decrease of $117,000 in your unrestricted carry forward fund balance for the year. So those are the major highlights of it, or briefly going over everything without going over every page in the report. But overall, like I said, it was a good audit, aside from the reclassifications and numerous corrections that needed to be made to the statements, so. So
Questions?
Can you hear us?
You can hear us, right?
yes, yep.
Explain to me what the reclassification mean. Is that something that accounting decided to do differently than it did in the past? It's not a mistake that was made, is it?
So originally, to make the reclassification, there was a large amount of mistakes to get it, to try to attempt to do so. And so that's what created the problems within, while I was doing the audit. So when I was presented the statements, I noticed there was a large amount of a large amount of errors within the financial statements as a result of trying to do this. The intent of the reclassifications is to better present the funds that you have. And I feel this is a better presentation of them. It was just getting to that point was the problem. Going forward, it's going to be no issue. So the way you were operating before for many years was everything was all sort of in one fund. And yeah, and kind of combined with your regular operating town operations. And so it's kind of commingled in there. It's better presented the way it is. So going forward, it'll be better, but it was just getting to that point. So
Good, thank you.
yeah.
So in very layman's terms, all the same money, it's just in different places now.
Yes. So
Correct. Exactly.
the general fund, and we separated out the ARPA funds, the TIP funds, the trust funds, the special revenues, the capital, the capital projects, the capital improvement fund. And it's in you're going to be getting your council monthly department reports tomorrow. And those will include all those funds. This was like all good intentions when our first finance director was hired in May, not knowing the consequences of year end and what it would do. She's no longer with us, but Craig has worked his push off, getting us straightened out. And I know moving forward, Cheryl's on board, I'm on board. And the money's all there. It's just in different places, but it's cleaner. So.
And just to add to that, Kelly, they were broken out separately before. And if you were to look at prior reports and stuff, they were separated into separate restricted fund balances on the face of the financial statements. It was just clean, just to clean this up. So.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, good night, buddy.
Yeah, you too. Good night.
Next up, first reading of the field board ordinance. Yeah, you want to do this one first?
Yeah.
All right.
So, like Craig said, he had an excess revenues of $168,252. That means we took in more than what we budgeted. And we had $723,514 dollars of unspent appropriations. You approved $106,150 to be carried forward in August. I brought that list to you and we approved. I know Dave had a piece of fire equipment he couldn't get, so we carried forward, $4,000 and whatnot. So the total is $617,364. And you add that to the revenue, we're at $785,616. And our fund balance policy states at the end of the audit, once we have those figures, we put 25% in our capital improvement reserve fund and 75% into our fund balance. So those are our numbers. Going into capital improvements, 196,404. And going into fund balance is 589,212. And those help me build the budget for next year. So I can use some of that money to keep taxes low.
I make a motion, we move $196,404 into the capital improvement reserve fund and $589,212 into fund balance.
Motion's made. We have a second. Mr. Nutting, second. All in favor?
The appeals.
Now is up for the first reading for the appeals board.
You wanna do it, Nate, or you want me to do it? So very simple, correction. We have a full appeals board now. And based on the number of board members, we would like to change, the quorum from 3 to 4.
I've read this over. I've got a couple of other minor corrections. that
Okay.
Existed previously. Ready?
Ready?
Yep,
Section 2, item 2.2. Says the board shall consist alternate members of 5 members and 2 alternate. I don't understand. There's either words missing or not. That's not English. See, 2.4 says the board may recommend to the municipal officers disapprove the recommendation. Also isn't great English. Are we trying to say that the board can suggest to the council that the council disapprove the recommendation? I don't know what that means. And finally, in 3.3, there's a errant quotation mark that somebody did a copy and paste, and I don't know what that is here. So those three things, somebody should put in English.
we can do that.
And then we can talk about the change of the quorum, and I don't have a problem with it.
Ellen?
My only question is there ever a problem getting a quorum?
I only had one meeting and had a quorum so far, yeah. But what it is our charter says that quorum of 4, and our old ordinance said, quorum of 3. So we're just trying to make our ordinance. Charter. Yeah, that's one of the things I saw. But I think the rest of the reading, Bob, is in there. Verbiage in our charter.
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
I think the verbiage that is in our charter is on our ordinance, so. I agree, you definitely should try to clean it up a little bit.
Can we bring it back to the next meeting?
Again, we need a second reading, so we'll make those adjustments.
If you make some judgment back and we'll do another reading.
Yeah.
Next item up is the council appoint 2 one-year appointments to the Budget Advisory Committee in your pack. I know Dave does not have the pack for this, but in your pack, Dave, you can write down on who you would like to take and we can probably put those on the list in the back. And the voter sheet, you can vote. There you go. If you'll take and do that, then Kelly can shoot the button. If you don't mind, sorry.
No, no.
Taking nominations.
Taking nominations, or we just going off the sheets?
Off the sheets because it was told.
We need to pick 2 people off the sheet.
Yes, 2 people off the sheet.
Yeah, they're supposed to give me their name by today or last week. And
But you don't want.
Well, okay, I'll start. Because Rick McKenzie has volunteered to stay on for the 1 more year that we need someone. He has the most experience. I suggest we pick him as one of the 2. And the other, Mr. Morissette, had a large number of votes that didn't technically count in the last election because of the
Writing.
write-in candidate law. But he's been to meetings, he's got the most votes, had he really understood the law, already be there, so, I would move that we choose Mr. McKenzie, Mr. Morissette.
Second that.
So we're not just
Dave,
casting a
second.
ballot.
Dave, I'm sorry, hang on, hold on, wait. Dave, you have comments?
If they're present, I'd like to know who they are.
There you go. I'll go second for that.
Thank you for me to ask.
Kelly, do you have a question?
So we're not casting ballots, we're just making a motion.
You can,
We can cast
it's
ballots.
up to the chair.
I just was asking.
Yeah, no, I have no problem casting ballots. Dana and I already checked those off. Why don't we just cast a ballot and count it and somebody pick them up? How's that?
I'd like to continue this.
Sorry, again, sir.
Over here.
Yeah, that's right.
I know Mr. Fisher,
Right.
and Anita. All right, thank you.
So you need it.
Everybody else? I got one.
Five for Art Morissette, 4 for Rick McKenzie, and 1 for Mark Fisher. So Rick and Art.
Dave, one moment. Next item up is Kelly, you're gonna talk to us about fuel bids?
Yes, so I sent you after the packet went out, with our fuel bids. Fabian came in lowest for number 2, oil and propane. And Dead River was higher for number 2 and propane. I would like to wait, I'd like to accept the Fabian bid, if possible, so I can get that in the budget. But I would like to possibly wait, with the new president coming in, I'd like to wait to lock in on gas and diesel. I just think that's gonna go down. If we can lock in by 1st of March, I think we'll have an idea where it's gonna go before we solidify the budget. You know, I'll use these numbers to build the budget, but then if it changes and I can lock in at a lower rate, then we can bring our budget down.
I'm happy to show that. You have some solid numbers to work from, so it's all gonna be within.
Mike, what are your numbers?
So Fabian, number 2 oil is $2.57. So 2579. Propane is 1399. And Dead River did diesel for 284.96. Dennis K. Burke did gasoline for 289 and diesel for 317.
I make a motion, we go with Vivian for our number 2 and our propane and hang on a little while and do the gas.
Motion's been made, by second, seconded by Dave, all in favor?
Thank you. I only have one little update. Zachary LaHaye, he's the scout that built the flower boxes outside the town office and outside the fire station here. For his Eagle Scout project, he has a flag disposal box that he's made. Yes, it's really nice. And they would dispose of flags properly. But he would like to put it either at the town office or police station. And then we can publicize where it is.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
So who's gonna take the flags across the bar?
They will come around and do a ceremony. Do it.
And that'll be continued through the Boy Scout.
Yes. Yes.
I think that's good. But currently, the transfer station, I believe, will take them or has in the past taken them and disposed of them properly. I think there's a sign.
They have a box.
They have a box.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be in addition to the,
I'd make a motion, we let the Eagle Scout do that. Thank you for it.
Motion's been made.
You gotta come here and present it to us someday.
I think I'm gonna have him come 22nd. He's gonna call Monday. 'Cause he helped.
Motion was made by Dana, seconded by Kelly, all in favor?
Great. Thank you.
Before we go into executive session, Dave, do you have, Kelly, do you have anything? Dave, did you have? anything?
Almost.
Bob, did you?
I do. I'm gonna get some small amount of trouble. for you. Sure. But in 1977, there were several new people on staff at the town. I was one of them. That was my first year in the town council. I've done other things since, come and gone, I'm here currently, but only one person who started it in 1977 is still here. That person doesn't really like attention. And Dana and I spoke to that person months ago about having a special event, a special award night or a presentation or something. And we were threatened. Dana and I were
With our lives.
threatened with our lives, basically. So I told this person that I would have the state do a special sentiment, which is something we do for people who are married a long time, have some notable accomplishment, have worked for more than 20 years. So there are rules. I told this person that I would do that for her. And that sometime when I was driving by her house, I'd throw it out on the lawn. But I lied about that. So this evening, I can get Jan to come up here. Somebody not sure take a picture. Let's go. Come here. And I will read this to you. And then I will present it to you. This is from the state of Maine. Be it known to all that we, members of the Senate, House of Representatives, join in recognizing Janice E. Ford of Oakland, who is retiring as town clerk for the town of Oakland after 47 years of public service. We extend our congratulations and best wishes, and be it ordered that this official expression of sentiment be sent forthwith the behalf of the 132nd legislature and the people of the state of Maine.
Oh, thank you. You're son. The town of Oakland has been so good to me, so good, and it has been 47 years. That seems like wow, but you know what? It must have all been pretty good years. So thank you, every one of you, special people. Thank you.
And Lieutenant, you'll mind escorting him out later? At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to enter into executive session under 1 MRS 4056D. I think all of the attorneys have a good faith. You know,
I explained it.